Okay, we're doing our best.
Some better than others.
Yes, Soot here was under the sooty weather. Lungs were full of soot.
Hasn't been sooting me lately.
Oh, I love it, yes.
Oh.
I make an ash of myself every now and then too, so what the heck? There's so many interesting topics in this world.
There's a lot going on.
There's so much going on.
A lot going on.
And you've sent me some that I just keep looking at and like, oh, wow, oh, yep, and this leads
Well,
to
especially if I think it might pertain to you or something that you've got to be aware of.
And, well, that one that you sent me this morning.
No, was it
this morning?
or last night? Yeah, because I think you had a meeting.
I was late last night, so I didn't get to it till this morning, and I'm like, and this is local. And of course, that's not the first one that's happened. But again, we're going back to scams. Observe, assess, and react to scams.
Well, because they're hitting everything. This was Social Security this time, right?
Yes.
And which I don't know how many older people fool around on the web or anything, but still, the ones that do, this could affect them.
Why don't you read the background of the article? And then I'll
no, can you go ahead?
Okay, I'll go ahead. Poor baby here. She's not feeling well.
Just not 100. Just not 100.
She's like 95. Anyway, she sent me this article, and it's local, and we understand we're in Southern Virginia. And this woman went out and add anything, because I did it briefly, went on the Social Security website. And as far as her intentions for what it was on, it was the site. And then something popped up. Was that correct?
Yes, and blocked her, or said it was a block. It was some kind of like block or something.
And to clear the block, she had to go to another website. And call somebody, correct?
Yes. It was. Yes.
She had, and in calling that person, they said that something about her account was in jeopardy. Yes. And she had to withdraw from that account and put it in a safer place.
But yes. Yes.
Significant amount of money. Which she did. And then they gave her a place that she was supposed to put it.
Yes.
And then the story progresses. And then on came another request for more. The rest of her money was in jeopardy. So she went to the bank, and here's where she was saved by the bell. Because when she went to pull out even more money than the previous one, and they probably saw it that she had already pulled out some. And then now this is like 3 times the amount. Not perfectly 3 times, I'm going to say like 27%, close to it. And they asked her where it was going. And that's how they caught the scam.
And she really did think she was on the website.
She really thought she was on the website.
But there's so many red flags.
Oh my gosh. And it's so scary.
It is. It really is.
And we were talking about that, my husband and I, from that article. Said I almost got wrapped into that about a year ago with Verizon. I was on the Verizon website, and it had nothing really to do with Verizon. And that popped up and said, you are being blocked, and you need to put an anti-blocker in your computer. And sent me to a person. I'm talking to this gentleman. I said, are you, oh yeah, I'm from Verizon. And it was going through and through. And now I need to get into your computer. I'm like, wait a minute. So finally, I got that little inkling, and my husband said, that doesn't sound right. Why is he getting in to do an unblocker and download this antivirus thing into my computer? So I just shut everything down. Immediately got out of that, shut it down, turned the computer off, and cut it off. I was lucky that it didn't get in there. But how was I to know?
I know. Because you You go to these websites because you might need to do something on them.
I had to
I mean,
yes.
Social Security, it may be something that you're trying to update or trying to get a form off or trying to do. So you're trying to go to them thinking that you're doing everything correctly, but.
And it was scary and it makes you worry. And I was like, oh man, that could happen. Now, and I had, the Chantel that happened a couple of weeks ago, and that, folks, it was on me, because I don't like to put a phone number in and using the letters, so what I thought looked like a 0 was really an 8, but it was a very faint 8. You couldn't see, because if you looked at it quickly, and those of us who have bifocals, and it looked like a 0. And that was set up specifically to catch somebody. Because I called that number several times because I kept hanging up. I just wanted to talk to a manager. And it took me right back to that same spot, which meant they weren't really going through a series of different phone numbers. They had that phone number set up specifically for someone misreading that number.
Mm-hmm. It really bugs me, though, because, I mean, it just bugs me that people are sitting out there trying to steal from people. It just really bugs me.
I have another email that I set up for just soccer stuff, okay? And it's called Soho Mail. Anyway, and I don't use it. I would like to use it more often. I don't use it because they completely shut me down sometimes. And in order to get back in, I have to go through all the different numbers. And they want to find my phone number. And I'll put it in, and it says not recognized. I'm like, wait a minute, where are we coming from? It's like, okay, so they shut me out. Oh, why don't you do facial recognition? And no. And way down to the bottom, it says, skip this part. Yes, skip that. You don't need to know what I look like for my emails to get through. Because how are you using my facial recognition on my emails? You see what I'm saying? They don't need to know that.
No, but that is another form of.
Yes.
That is another form of kind of like your thumb and your finger.
Yeah, and then I don't want them to have it. Because I don't know where this email is coming from. Wherever it's really coming out of, they don't recognize my cell number. It's like, they put a 1 in front of it, and then they'll give me a whole list. Don't you know I'm in the United States? Obviously, you don't know. So I'm kind of leery about that.
You have to be cautious.
And I'm cautious on that. I don't want them to have my face or my fingerprint, really. Not that I have a lot of money, because I don't. You won't get much from me. You'll just get my identity. And I'm old, so there you go. But the way things are going now, if you get somebody who hacks that, they get all your identity. I mean, how many times do they say, oh, we've been compromised and all your information's gone? Oh, good. So now you have my face and my fingerprints and where I live and my phone number, and you got hacked.
But is this on your phone or your computer?
It's on my computer.
Okay. I haven't been asked for facial recognition on my computer yet. On the phone, that's an option and stuff.
Yes. No, this is because
so many things are doing the 2 and 3 authentication. And I am doing those.
I don't mind if they want to. I have one that wanted to send a link to my landline. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be really good, because I'm not going to get through. Go ahead, I want to see that. So I had to give them, and I have no problem. I actually like that. And I'll give them, because that way they're taking that next level. That's really important. Because obviously I'm the only one with this phone in my possession, and I can get it right there. It's usually with the person. And I like that, and then it's right in. So they have the security questions.
Which are hard for me, because if I've stuck them someplace and set something up, I can't remember. Is it this one, this, that?
I know, I have them in a little, but I put a lot of, I love it.
But if you don't tote it with you, and then you get asked, then it's like,
or let's try another form. Can you do another one?
Yeah. Or I hate those little ones that it's like, look at the letters, or how many traffic signs, or how many steps do you see?
Yes. Is that like how many bicycles are in this picture? You know?
Yeah, or how many wheels? And it's like, well, does that count as a wheel right there?
Like, I'm looking, I'm like, I think that's a fender of a motorcycle.
Because you're already saying I'm not a robot, but
That's right. And then I've done some of those letters, and I'm like, oh, that didn't look like that. That looked like a number, and they want a letter, and okay. And if you don't, scroll down far enough where it says I am not a robot, it just keeps throwing you back and around and around and around. Anyway, so that was that scam, and that is not an unusual scam, because like I said, I got that with the Chantel and with the Verizon, and that was about a year ago. And it scares me because I was just looking up on another article when you came in, and how artificial intelligence is now working into a way of surveillance. And I know this sometimes, and this has happened to me a few times recently when I'm looking at a podcast that may have some political leaning, and I get thrown off or I can't get in it. So the only way I finally turned my phone off completely. So somehow I think there was something blocking what I was trying to see.
That's interesting.
It is. And I think that we have a lot of things that we have to look for. And some of these scams may be just to get our information.
Could be.
And what they're going to do with it, and to find out. And I'm so suspicious about certain search engines that keep your information, and they know what you're looking at. You go to Facebook and they'll put ads on. Gee, I just looked at that the other day on Amazon, and they know that I'm looking at it.
And somewhere we have told them it's okay for them to do that.
Yes.
And it's just like, well, okay, which part of this 999?
They're going to have to sign your life away, really. I mean, so that is that's one thing that I've noticed, and
But clear your caches, keep your
yes,
keep on your computer and on your phone. Keep your caches cleared. Try to clear out everything.
I hate these. We have cookies. Yeah, put your cookies in a jar. Put them someplace else. And sometimes I try to ignore it, and they just let me go. Go on, because I don't want all the cookies. So I have to be really careful, and I'm old, and I'm not used to all this stuff.
Yeah, but you manage it very well.
We try. It's like, oh, I don't want to step in that hole. And my husband said to, and I'll tell him, be careful of certain things, and he just introduced him again he just got introduced to Facebook. Okay, and here's another lovely scam on Facebook. You get these people that, I want to be your friend. Like, where are you from? Your name doesn't look like anything I'm related to. Nope, sorry, not going to happen. And I said, honey, if it doesn't look, don't be friends. Don't be friends, because that gives you a whole long thing. Anyway, there's so much. It's like,
I probably had the fewest friends on Facebook because I don't accept new friends. I'm just real peculiar.
Well, I have friends, but a lot of them, are relatives, because I have lots of relatives. But if they'll say, this is a friend of a friend, no, I don't know. I don't know who you are. And I'm very leery about being friends with teenagers. I won't really befriend teenagers, because I don't think that's appropriate in some cases. But some of my soccer players will, and students that I've had who are now adults in their 50s. I guess it's okay to be friends with them, right? But so that sort of segues into when we're talking about AIs and artificial intelligence and the new cell phones. I mean, did you see the new cell phones that Verizon has? And it has built-in AIs. It's like Star Trek. You can use talk in English and order a cab, and the cab may be in a foreign country, and it translates to that cabbie your words in his language.
Wow.
That's Star Trek right there.
That's pretty cool. There's some things that's cool about it too.
That is cool. That is really neat because it can do the translation. And just
But how do I know it's doing it correctly?
it depends on the response, I guess.
If I order a cab and it brings a cab, I guess one thing. But
yeah, but if you order
or a cab and they bring me a pizza,
well, that might be okay too. That might be fine.
It might be because you may be waiting for the cab for a while. I don't know.
It's like, interesting. Anyway, so, and I was, this is sort of goes off a little bit of a serious type thing, and has to do with AI and surveillance and people really getting into knowing what you're doing.
Well, we're constantly surveilled. So I mean, if we think we're not, we are.
And we have that thing over there on the shelf that's listening to every single word that we're doing.
And whatever we're connected to
and whatever
on here.
We're connected to. So.
And our phones are listening, and
everything's listening.
Everything is listening. I may not be listening all the time, but everything else is.
Well, and I'm sure that they realize, and they're going to segue into it. They realize that you and I are. I'm wearing my Chosen shirt today. For those of you,
that's such a good show.
See The Chosen, and it is a great show. And I've counted those fish. There are 13 fishies, and I think you could do a whole study on which one is Jesus. Is he the little tiny one, or is he the big one, or is he the one in the distance and you got to follow? So with that, the other day my husband said, do you realize how many Christians are being persecuted? And that's when you came in, I was doing this, and it had a lot on surveillance and using facial recognition in some of these countries, using technology, artificial intelligence, and facial recognition to surveil Christians.
Well, our country does it for your political beliefs already, and for Christian stuff too. I mean, they're already doing that, and they admit to it, IRS and all.
Well, and
so I mean,
and the number of attacks on churches, arson attacks, destroying, has just about doubled in this past year.
Wow.
And I couldn't even, I just started listing how many countries and people have been, in one country, there's 13 Christians a day were killed in 2023.
Wow. That is amazing.
Now, you and I don't look like we're dangerous people. Why? Why would you just want to do that? Minding their own business, people who, and this is Lent, this is a solemn time in Christian belief. And it's very sad to think that in the world, others like us cannot follow our beliefs. And the numbers are just in the thousands. So last week, I think it was like last Monday, I got a text from one young man who grew up in our parish. And he goes to college in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then his mom sent me a text that he's going to be texting you, and almost came in piggybacked. He said, a church 2 blocks down the street from where he works was destroyed in an arson fire. Now, I haven't heard back from him and here was the thing, and it made my heart feel good that there's young people out there that have their spiritual center right, because he wanted to know if our church could do anything to help them if they needed anything. And I thought that gave me hope, like your son, with hope and of the future. And I'm wondering, I read the article about it, and I'm wondering if that was an arson. They had a school, the school was not touched, but it was, the altar area was destroyed. Now, what's there that's going to burn? You know? Completely. So I have to follow through on that. And I know we went from scams to arson and
AI and
AIs,
everything.
but they all work together. Our lives are being invaded by people who want something from us or to destroy us in one way or another. Even though what we're doing, we're minding our own business. You know, it's just, oh, my poor Soot. You got too much soot in your lungs. And there shouldn't be a lot of soot out there. It's all, it's all sort of dissipating. So I just, you got me thinking about all the different things and all those different little, I love it because she sends them to me and then I get to read them. And I send a couple of them on to other people for them to read and to just be aware of everything that's happening in scams in the world. In just, you can't just really mind your own business and live your own life without somebody wanting something from you, either your money or your life, because you don't believe in what I believe in.
Yep. And it's and people just do not understand how much even it's happening in America. And we're oblivious. I mean, but we're under attack for various reasons.
Exactly.
And you just, the Bible talks about staying on guard and everything, and you really do. You have to be on guard because, it talks about in the Bible about how Satan's out there to devour you. But something is out there to devour you if you're not constantly trying to be alert to things that could be.
And people are just, I guess as I got older and have done different things and not bad things, I'm all for education. If there's something I have to learn, I want to learn it. I want to do it. But I want to see other people improve too. I don't want to take from them, but that's just me because I like to, anytime a person, I've always professed, if it's an education, take it. I don't care what it is. Take it. I did, when we do soccer, we have to do safe sport. It's fine. Opens my eyes to the world. For church, we have to do safe church. Now, I thought, and I know people, I spend a day doing that. You know how that is. And I'll admit, I was like, I gotta do it. But I will be a salesperson for this. I think everybody should take a class. It's not, and it wasn't really geared about your church. It's more geared about how you live your life in a society to protect and help others and not set up a situation where you endanger somebody else or you present the wrong impression. It had how to protect your elder care, and what to look for if an elderly person is being abused. That's important. And these scams are a way they are abusing elderly people. And if this person, I could just see some elderly person and it's happened. Just push that button. Oh, I'm going to win. Yeah, you're going to win what? You're going to win. You just won a car, but you have to send me $500 to ship it to you. Really? You're sending me a car worth $20,000 and you can't afford shipping it to me? That's what I mean. But people will believe that. they don't know there's probably a little teeny tiny model car that they paid $500 to have shipped to them. So we sort of went right back around to scams and elderly people and how the whole world is just full of somebody who wants what you have.
Yeah, because they don't want to work for themselves.
They don't want to work for themselves.
It's much easier to steal from people, and they've just found new ways to do it because we're so busy and we're not alert and we're not. And I always, you and my husband, and probably your John's probably more like it, but I mean, y'all are trained and y'all naturally do things more alertly. I mean, I'm the type that I believe nobody's out to get me until they come to get me, because I just believe naturally good in people, and I don't want to see it, but I still. And it's very hard for somebody like with my personality. I mean, I have to be cautious, but I don't want to have to be cautious all the time. I want to be able to enjoy life. But you constantly have got to have your guard on nowadays.
Yeah, you said the word. You have to have that guard up all the time.
And it's exhausting to me. Y'all, you and my husband and John, it probably don't bother y'all, but I just want to have, I don't want to have to do it all the time.
I think it comes from any of your life experiences where you let your guard down and something happened. And from that experience, you probably, I know that was my background. And I'm like, that is not going to happen ever again. No way. No way, sweetheart. Not going to happen. Nope. Because you'll be singing the Castriori. You have no sympathy from me. So yes, that
and some people are naturally like y'all, some people are naturally like me, and then my type personality and stuff, we really have to be careful because I mean y'all are more like suspicious of everything. I mean, it's like someone said hello to me. Why'd you say hello? What right did you? I mean, what are you doing? Okay, you're not in my room. Okay, let me see what's going. I mean, I'm like, it's just.
So well, I'm friendly, but some people I'm like, I had one.
But you're probably guarded in some.
Oh, I'm so guarded. I remember years ago there was.
My husband is friendly, but he's like.
That's exactly it. Friendly, guarded, a guardedly friendly.
You see, and I'm like, hey, come on.
And my husband,
and they're liable to have a knife ready to pull it on me, and my husband's like,
too close.
I mean, it's just different in personalities, but so you do have to be more careful because.
Oh, years and years ago, many years ago, probably about the time you might have been born. Anyway, many years ago, I was a young married, and it was a discount store. I can't remember, was it Big Brothers or he had Brothers, I think, in the name, and big store. And I was shopping, and my husband had gone. He was at class. And I was in the store, and man, I felt, you ever have a feeling that somebody's watching you? And I looked around, and there was a guy, and he was watching me. So, being the person I am, I kept moving around to see if he happened to be following me. And he was. Now, I'm not a shoplifter. I was just looking, and I wasn't, so I don't think he was one of the employees.
You might like your perfume.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him get that close. So I finally just said, okay, this is too much. And I made my way around and got out and left. Because it's like, oh.
Well, you get that uneasy feeling.
It's like, the hairs go up on the back of your neck. And then when we moved down here, I was shopping in Keysville. And I was putting groceries in the trunk of my vehicle. And I felt like there was somebody watching. And sure enough, there were two guys. And they were watching. Now, those of us in martial arts, when we turn around, we look right at them. Eye to eye. Because God forbid, if I want to be able to describe these people. So it's eye to eye. And they just turn their head, and I'm like, phew, I'm glad I turned.
And it exudes confidence.
Exactly. Yes,
so it's
eye contact.
So.
We're almost done, folks.
Yeah.
And we've covered a lot. But
we hope it was helpful, but just be guarded, be friendly, be guarded, but I mean, be careful.
Yes.
Be careful. And y'all take care. All right, bye.